Welcome back to the next video. In this one, we are going to be talking about triad inversions. Now, we need to keep in mind that triads only have two inversions, right? We get first inversion and second inversion. And for those of you that don't know, inversions are just the same chords, but different arrangement of the notes. So let's say we have the chord C, E, G. The inversion could be E, G, C or G, E, C. Same three notes, but in different order. Okay, just so we know that. Let's go ahead and talk about our first two inversions. But first, we need to talk about root position. Now, root position is just when we have the chord correctly written from bottom to top. So for example, it would be C, E, G. This is C root position, right? This is C root position because we have our root in the bass. And we need to keep in mind that it always matters which note is in the bass. Because when it comes down to first inversion, we have our third in the bass. And this is really important. Make sure we write this down. We have our third in the bass. So what is the third of C? The third of C is E. So, same chord, but now we're gonna have our third in the bass and then our regular fifth. But now this C went up an octave. So it's the same chord, but now it's in first inversion. Okay? And keep in mind, first inversion and second inversion have what's known as a figured bass. And that's an important term we must know as well. Figured bass. Now, figured bass is always what goes under the staffs. Right here, I only have treble clefs, but in the worksheets and whenever you see piano music, you always have treble and bass. But when it's at the bottom, figured bass. So the figured bass we get for a first inversion chord is always going to be a 6. 6 by itself. Why? I'll show you in a bit. For root position, we don't write a figured bass for root position because it's implied. Now, what is it? It is a 5-3. The reason I put parentheses around it is because it's invisible. Now, what that signifies is the intervals from the lowest sounding tone. Okay? Interval from the lowest sounding tone. So, lowest sounding tone and root position is C. Third is E. Fifth is G. You see that? Third, fifth. Now, for the first inversion, when we have a 6, it does have a 3, but it's invisible. We don't write it. Why? Because it's implied. Because from the lowest sounding tone, in this case, first inversion, which is a third, which is E, up a third is G, up a sixth is C. Right? Because that was the note that we moved up an octave. Okay? So make sure we remember figured bass at the bottom, and for first inversion, it's a 6. And it's always when the third is in the bass. Okay? Also, we must know that when we write the chords up here above the staff, that is known as lead sheets or lead sheet symbol. So when C is in root position, it's just C by itself. When we have C first inversion, we have to put C, and we put a parentheses, which shows us that it's going to be over a different note than itself. In this case, in first inversion, it's going to be over E. And that is our third of the key, and that is our first inversion. Make sure we remember to put our lead sheets and our figured bass. It's important, right? Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.